subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate that. Any primers? Yeah. Oh my god. This after I finish editing this, I kind of want to do like 100 more things, but just a learning lesson. So the next episode I hope will be even better, but this one I'm excited for it. I thought it went really well. It starts off a little, you know, just getting my footing, but Bobby's a great host or guest, sorry. Let's just fucking do it, I guess. I'm gonna stay here in the chat, but for the most part, I'm gonna mute and just be with you guys. Hey guys, thanks for coming to the first episode of After the Split. I'm super excited to have on BobbyBill, who is an incredible Spyro Reignited trilogy runner. He's held up to 9 world records at one point and currently holds 5 of them, and one of them was bopped only yesterday from the point of recording this. So hopefully we see his rise again in any percent no balloon skip once he finishes running number 3. He's going for a world record in that category for any percent as well. Since this is the first episode, I don't really have a lot prepared as far as graphics and an intro, anything like that. So I just want to get into the interview, and please leave any comments below with any suggestions you guys have. I'm new to learning this, so hopefully we can only get better.
Oh, I'm sweating.
So I figure first thing off, instead of me trying to introduce you, who would you say you are?
What? How do you mean?
Like, if someone said, hey, this is BobbyBill, he does blank.
I'm a massive Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge runner.
The
Third
biggest.
place. Yeah, I guess SRT runner, Spyro remake runner. It's kind of all I do.
No,
I guess,
underrated for sure.
Oh,
actually, hot thing I saw yesterday. Are you going to run any percent MBS again?
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Okay, yeah, we kind of figured, but
it's on the queue.
Something I've always wondered: what is the origin of BobbyBill, the name? Is Bobby or Bill your actual name?
No, actually.
I kind of figured.
I know.
It's not the most popular UK name.
No. Actually, my name's actually Sam. Yeah. The only reason why I'm even like saying my name now is because it turns out I left my name on my Steam profile.
Oh.
And I added a few people and they saw it and they were like, oh, well.
The mystery got ruined.
The mystery got ruined, I'm afraid. But yeah, it is what it is. So there's another Sam British runner now in the midst. The other one, of course, being.
Now, if anything's too, revealing, or you don't feel real comfortable answering, then that's fine. And just tell me, I'd rather not, and everything's gonna get cut up in editing and stuff anyway.
I'm fine answering pretty much anything. Yeah, I feel.
So, how old are you, and where are you from?
What?
Specific address, by the way.
Specific address? Okay, yeah. I live on 123 Speedrunner Street.
Oh shit, that sounds fast.
It's pretty damn fast. I am 23. I'm almost 24. About a month, less than a month, a few weeks. I know, crazy.
Birthday.
And I live in England, of course. I actually live very, very southeast. Like, I can literally see France through my window.
Oh, really?
So that gives a bit of an understanding as to where I am. Yeah, it's actually really quite nice actually where I live. But yeah, pretty much very close to Dover. If that gives a bit more of an understanding of where that is. But
I'll be honest, I've never been to Europe, and my European geography is terrible.
It's like Dover's like sort of the main kind of like it's right on the English Channel, so it's between like France and England. It's like the big kind of I guess dock, I suppose, between those two. But yeah, so that's whereabouts I kind of live. Very countryside, I've never lived in a city, so I'm
Do
more
you ever
used to
want
kind
to?
of. Um, it's hard to say really. I guess my initial answer would probably be like no,
Hmm.
but it's only because I kind of haven't experienced it. I've been to London a few times, probably more than a few times. And I think London probably is like the extreme of like a city sort of thing, or at least from what I've experienced. And it's very like much not for me. It's very like I guess I'm not used to at least seeing like big crowds of people and stuff, and you know it's kind of it's very different. It's very different like different kind of place to where I live. So um I guess from that alone probably not. But again, then again, it's like it's one of those things I've not really done before. So I've not lived in the city or so I probably would get used to it.
So,
I
what's
can
your living
imagine.
situation like right now? Are you you live by yourself, roommates, pets?
I live with my parents still.
Yeah, me
I
too right
know.
now. I feel that.
But I am looking into somewhere to live. But my current job at the moment, I work as a baker. I don't know if that answers like another question you had, but
Really?
yeah, I'm a
I
baker at the
would
moment.
not have guessed a baker.
I'm baking the bread, you know. But I've been kind of looking to like other jobs at the moment. Mainly because like pay reasons and stuff. Like I've
Hmm.
had like my eyes on like somewhere to live actually in Dover, which I guess is why I mentioned it. Um, although it's not really in Dover, it's kind of like in the outskirts sort of thing. But it's actually quite like a good price. It's like a like 1-2 bedroom flat, which looks really nice. But it's one of those things where I have to kind of like earn more money to kind of get like a mortgage and all that sort of stuff. So I'm kind of looking to a couple different things. One being like a caretaker sort of thing, which is where my brother works, so he can help me
Oh,
get into that.
like for
Or two,
elderly or
um, for people with like learning disabilities and such.
okay.
The place where my brother is actually isn't like a lot of people can kind of take care of themselves that where he works anyway. So he just basically kind of like goes out with them into places. Obviously, it's a little bit different now. Obviously, this last year, but normally he would like take him out, to like London and stuff like that sort of thing. So, um, and my second other thing that I'm kind of looking into is perhaps working on the trains, which
Like maintenance
uh,
for it or driving?
uh, a signaler actually is what I'm currently looking at right now. But I suppose I don't really mind. Trains is actually quite like a big thing, I suppose, in England, specifically where I
Hmm.
am, because obviously a lot of people use it to get to London and such. London being quite fairly close by, so
My only real
it's a
experience is like Tokyo with trains, and that's almost all automated.
yeah,
So
true.
what's a signaler?
It's specifically like someone who would like I guess just make sure that trains go where they're supposed to go, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
I guess a bit simply. Like I said, I'm looking into that like right now, sort of vaguely. I've only very, very recently looked into it. Um, or like any other sort of thing looking into trains because my friends also has friends that work in the trains as well, but they're like engineers sort of thing.
Hmm.
And funny story from them actually is like they end up like sleeping on the job a lot.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they can literally sleep on the train.
That's
But a lot of
awesome,
them,
actually.
yeah, exactly. They spend like 3 hours of their shift like asleep. Not that I
I
would
guess they
look
have
to
to
do
work
that.
at nights and stuff too, right?
Yeah, I suppose they
Oh,
work
then
around the
yeah,
clock
definitely.
sort of thing. Yeah, so obviously they get called at any sort of time. So I can kind of understand a little bit, but at the same time, it's like getting paid to sleep.
Not a bad job at
Yeah,
all.
sounds pretty good compared to my job at least. But I wish. Oh, that's like a dream job to me.
Now, I don't know if you
Pretty good. I'm
remember,
pretty good at.
but what outlandish thing did you want to do as a kid? Like grow up, oh, astronaut, an accountant? I don't know.
Oh, an accountant. Wow,
Yeah, I
that's
know
like a.
lots of kids that want to be accountants nowadays.
um, that's a good question. Actually, and I guess I'm somewhat similar to it. I actually wanted to be like a chef when I was younger.
Hey,
Um,
then you're living the
and
dream.
not quite. I don't know what kind of put me off of that task. I think. Uh, well, with my like education,
Hmm.
um, basically how it works in like England is you go to like you got preschool, which is like yeah, between when you're like 2 and 3, so it's irrelevant. You got primary school, which you up until like 10, age of 10, and then from like 10 to like 16, you do secondary school, which is like I can imagine in America it's like
Middle
10th grade,
school.
11th, yeah, middle school sort of thing. And then between 16 and 18, you can choose to carry on like a further education, do sixth form, it's called, for like like 2 years. Or you can move to do a college,
Hmm.
or you could do I think you could do an apprenticeship. I could be wrong. That might have been quite a while ago. Actually, it might not be a thing anymore. But basically, those are like your options, sort of thing. You gotta kind of continue on, or you gotta like do an apprenticeship or something. And my plan was to go into catering in a college.
Okay.
Uh, but a lot of people like told me like, oh, you shouldn't really do that actually. Instead, you should kind of do sixth form instead, do further education. I was kind of like, I didn't really want to do it at first, and I eventually kind of caved in. I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Uh, and I was kind of like, I kind of wish I didn't make that choice because when you do sixth form specifically, the real reason why you do it is so you can get into university. So you
Right.
have those qualifications, and that was never really what I wanted to do, and I didn't actually do it in the end. Although again, I was kind of offered to do it, um, and I chose not to do it. And
It's gotta
I
be
don't know. I
kind of
wish I kind
scary
of
though. Have a path set up and then just not
yeah, a
go with
little
it.
bit. I don't regret not going to uni though,
Mm-hmm.
because well, if I was to do uni, it would have been in philosophy, which is I really enjoyed philosophy, but like at the same time, it's like
It's one of those majors that people tend to scoff at, for
yeah,
sure.
exactly. I feel like if you're gonna go to university, you want to do something that is a little bit more like I guess practical in a way, or at least something where
Mm-hmm.
you have like a job in mind, sort of thing, which is very hard to do when you're at that sort of age. Like I wish I was
Oh
like one of
yeah.
those
How do
people
you
that had like a straight path, like yeah, like I said, like
you're
and
being
you
asked
had like
to,
an
hey,
end
give up
goal.
on the things you care about for something that you can live off of.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to, and I admire a lot of people that do that because a lot of my friends were like that, where it's like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I suppose for me, I never really like kind of had that as much. It was a little bit more blurry as to what I kind of wanted to do exactly. But yeah, a lot of people had set out like, oh, I'm gonna do sixth form, do these, get these grades, work hard, and do uni, and and then obviously get that job at the end of it. And a lot of people have succeeded in that I know. One person I know actually works in Google,
Oh shit.
but he was like some, he was super smart. Like he was like gifted, definitely. So
I've heard they
he
kind of
actually
have
got
like the most wild application process.
it was kind of interesting. He actually came up to him. Like I said, like he's a
They scouted him?
brainiac. Yeah, like he actually declined him at first. I can't remember why, but I think he was busy or
What?
something. And Google, it turns out, has like a team for people that decline their offers.
Oh, we're gonna
So they
make you
went after
change your
him.
mind.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're working for us. We got our eyes on you.
I guess that's a
Uh,
basic human philosophy. You want what you can't get.
exactly, it's crazy. But yeah, so there's him. But what was I saying? Yeah. So in the end, I suppose I don't really mind not going to like uni. I wouldn't mind going to uni just for the sort of, I guess, the life of it,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like a lot of people are drawn by that, at least initially, and then like for like the first year, or whatever, and then the next 2 years is like, oh shit, actually got to do work now. You actually got to put the effort in, sort of thing.
My
And I
real
kind of
frame of
like,
reference is like American universities.
mm,
Is it like a big you imagine as like a big party?
yeah, yeah, pretty much. I guess I think because, like I said, it's more than just like obviously you're learning this course or whatever. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're also going. I mean, you don't have to, but you're also going off and kind of living by yourself in a way. It gives you that kind of individualism that
Oh, for
perhaps you wouldn't have
sure.
been used to, and it kind of gives you that first step of yeah, kind of being by yourself, sort of thing.
Was there
Um,
any like financial reason to hold you back too? Like I know American
um,
education at a higher level is just absurd, so
it
that's why
kind of is
I
the
have
same
not yet,
here.
but
Yeah, it's a little bit here too. I mean, you get like a student loan, obviously, and then
mm-hmm.
naturally you'd pay off over time.
For the
Or
rest
if
of
you
your
don't own
life.
a certain amount, then I think you get it like paid for you or something. But I can't remember how much that is. But basically, yeah, a little bit. That's why, like, partly I'm like glad I didn't do it because I feel like, let's say, if I got like a whatever and degree in philosophy or whatever, and then having to like sort of pay off after,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I having that degree wouldn't have stopped me from doing what I'm currently doing now, or would have made me feel like, oh, I could have done these other things that I still probably could do now, to be honest.
Do you
Quite
still
lucky.
try and educate yourself on like philosophy?
No, not really anymore, which is a shame because, like I said, I actually really
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it. I mean, it's been a long time since I really looked into it or thought about it, but I think I know a couple people in the Spyro community that actually did philosophy.
Really?
Maybe I could be wrong. Yeah, actually, I think there's one person who did do a degree. I can't remember who. Um, but yeah, so yeah, shouts to them.
I'm no scientist, but maybe there's a correlation there.
maybe,
If you
maybe
think
Spyro's
about
pretty
thought, you
deep.
probably hate yourself enough to run SRT.
That's true. True to any percent. You know.
Now, how has COVID really affected you, if at all?
Um, that's a good question, really. Um, well, I suppose looking at it from like a job perspective, it's kind of the same. Not a whole lot changed. It was very different at first when it kind of all kind of kicked off, I guess, because um, there was a bit of like unsureness. So we had to kind of like at first we did like a lot less bread, and we kind of stuck to like the basics because at first we didn't really want people to come out, and then people would panic buy anyway. So it's like, I don't know. Uh, Living wise, it's been kind of the same. Obviously, there's a lot less opportunities, job wise as well. To kind of because, like I said, I'm looking for like another job, so it's kind of tougher now. One because there's a lot less jobs going around, but also two, there's such a high unemployment. There's kind of that competitiveness now of getting these jobs. But I suppose, and that's kind of an uninteresting answer, but not really a whole lot actually, to be honest. Other than that, like it's all kind of been about the same. I feel like a lot more people have been affected by it, a lot more than myself.
I,
Um,
I definitely, especially early on, I got this weird feeling, just like, wow, I'm lucky to have a job right now. And
yeah,
really, it's like,
yeah, that's what I feel as well.
it's
I'm the
kind of a
same.
weird thought that, like, wait a minute, I'm going out. People should, or not the general people, but like still going out and providing a service, I feel like is super valuable when a lot of people don't even want to leave their house.
Hmm. That's interesting, really, because there's like parts of me that's also similar, where it's like I kind of wish in a way like I could at least have like a month off or something. It'd be quite nice. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to have that time off. But then there's like another part that's like, yeah, but do
So
I
they
really
they
want to be
really they
someone
didn't
who's
give you any time off. They weren't closed like,
I've
hey,
had
let's
no
figure
time
this
off.
out.
Yeah, no, I've been exactly
That's
the same.
nuts, dude.
I had a single day off because of Corona, not one. But I mean, obviously, if I catch it, then there's that. But fortunately, I'm in like an area where it's actually like pretty low. The like, I don't really know anyone other than my brother actually got it. Outside of that, I don't know
Did he wind
anyone.
up okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He actually like was perfectly fine with it. He had no issues with it at all.
Oh, that's
I think
good.
he only got it from his work. I think someone else ended up getting it for
Of
whatever
course, as
reason. But
always.
yeah, yeah, he ended up being fine. The only problem was he got it over Christmas, so he had to
Ooh.
like isolate on Christmas Day, which is a bit sad. But
Oh yeah, it'd be
you know,
super depressing.
yeah, it was a little sad. It was also around the time of his birthday too, which is also in December. So oh well, he'll be fine.
Plus,
He's
get
actually
more
fine.
Christmas presents. People feel bad for you.
Yeah, exactly. We had to send like a care package over to him.
Now, of course, I have to ask, when did you actually start running SRT?
Um, I guess. Well, I first ran it in October 2019, but I ran it for like a week or two, and then I kind of stopped,
You just knew
and
the
then it
game was
became
shit.
like. Well, it was interesting because like at the time, um, the game was still like pretty new. I mean, the game like especially like the PC port of it is actually like fairly new. So the
Hmm.
times on the leaderboards are actually kind of like there weren't that many times really. Well, there were a decent amount, but it's not like too popular. There were still like categories that didn't have really have like times in it. I had like one time in it.
Were you
Um,
originally running on console?
no, I first started running on PC. I didn't
Oh,
actually
okay.
touch the console, and thankfully, I've run a console since. Like did like one run of it, and
Oh, I remember.
it's interesting. But yeah,
Bobs.
so I first ran it in like October for like a little bit, and then I kind of because with speedrunning, I always like wanted to get into speedrunning, but I couldn't kind of find that game.
Now, was that
Uh,
October of 19 you
yes,
started? Oh, okay. So it's been a little
um,
while now.
that was a little while ago, but yeah, so I was kind of like hopping games almost, just trying to find something that kind of stick because I always wanted to run a game, and I can't remember why I ended up choosing SRT. I think because I just enjoyed the game. There wasn't like a specific like person I looked to or anything like that. I was still very very new to Spyro in general. I didn't know anyone from OG or anything like that because I know a lot of people get into Spyro because of
The
um
nostalgia
oh
factor for sure.
the nostalgia of like OG, but also like perhaps they've seen someone run it. I know at the time Chris was quite big as well. He was doing SRT and OG, and he had like pretty much all the world records at the time in SRT, and still holds quite a few of them. I think at least on console. I think he holds one MBS, and that's it maybe. Um, and but yeah, I just kind of got into it just by interest in the game itself. But like I said, I kind of stopped running it like until I got back into it in February the next year. So I guess I've been solidly running it for about a year now. Um, but yeah, and February is I came back to it because I've kind of always like regretted that I stopped running it because I never really got like a proper time. I like ran it for like a week, I think. I can't remember what my first time was. My first category I ran was 120, and I think I got like a 141 or something as my first run or something. And
Hard to believe
they
that
weren't too
now.
terrible. Yeah, yeah. It's like since then I've got like a 111 now, so 30 minutes of it gone. I think I
Did
had
you
like a game over in that PB. It's a
did
different
you
time.
did you play the OG games as a kid?
Oh yeah, of course. Everyone's played the OG games, but yeah, I played the entire trilogy when I was younger. Um, and it was interesting playing SLT because I haven't played OG since I was like a kid, and it was interesting kind of seeing the stuff and be like, oh yeah, I remember this and I remember that. The only one I didn't play as much, and I guess it's interesting because I don't really run it as much either, is Spyro 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because what ended up happening was I think one of my brother's friends borrowed it and he just like never gave it back.
Oh.
So it was interesting playing 2 again because I like very, very vaguely remembered like some of it. I remember Dragon Shores and I was like, oh, I remember throwing the ball at the guy. Uh, but yeah, I played OG again recently actually because I've not played it in so long, and
Not a
it's
fan?
interesting. Well,
Interesting. It's typically not a good description.
well, it plays a lot different than SRT, but I think because I'm just more used to kind of like more modern controls, and
Yeah, for sure.
I suppose when I was a kid, like obviously I didn't know any better, But
That
no,
was the
apparently OG is
cutting
really
edge
good to
back
get
in the
into.
day. Yeah.
That was. I mean, it still is like it doesn't feel like terrible, but like it's kind of hard to bounce between SRT and OG, specifically if you play SRT, it's like quite a difference.
I will
Also
give that
playing on
to the
emulator as
like
well.
the originals, they have aged very well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they like I can imagine like if I actually wanted to like proper get into it, you get pretty like decent at it, and I can imagine it being super satisfying. Like a lot of the movement in it, like it's not as simple as like even if you just want to turn around in the game, you get this like turn around animation, for example, and it's like I don't know stuff like that. I can imagine it's quite fun to
Mm-hmm.
kind of get good at sort of thing, which obviously doesn't really exist as much in SRT. You just kind of press a button, press a direction, and it works. Sparks picks up gems.
Now that's
That's another thing.
so I just started trying a little bit of speedrunning for SRT, and one of my biggest complaints is that I feel like Sparks doesn't pick up anything.
So that's really interesting because going back to OG, I thought the same
Is it
thing where it
even
was like
worse?
Sparks. I thought it was even worse in OG,
Oh wow.
honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my maybe because I just played casually as a kid the OGs. I'm like, I remember Sparks being so much better than this.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember like Sparks just didn't pick up anything in OG. I know that's probably like a, a rare opinion to hold, but that's just how I felt, I suppose. Yeah,
Now, when
I
you
don't know.
first started running, did you instantly become involved in the community, or were you just kind of watching some people lurking?
Um, oh, good question. I'm trying to think back now. I don't think I really got too involved in the community itself. I don't think I really watched too many people either. I think I just kind of stuck at it to myself, and I try to figure stuff out myself too. Um, I don't know why, but I always feel kind of like, and this is what kind of when I see like new players as well, I always urge them like, oh, if you have any questions at all, ask the Discord or whatever, ask anyone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's friendly in the community, and it's true. But at a time, like when I was new, I kind of didn't because I don't know, I felt kind of like scared to ask people the way,
Yeah,
or I
it's
felt like I was
definitely an
intruding a little bit.
interesting new thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt like, they've probably got new players before, sort of thing, and they don't want to hear someone else. Look at this noob, sort of thing. I guess I got that vibe, but that vibe was just, I guess, entirely on me because, like I said, everyone in that community is really good, so they're very helpful, at least now. But yeah, when I was new, yeah, I can't remember if I really watched any people. I think I remember watching House and watching Green.
Oh,
Um,
they both been running that long too, huh?
Yeah, they've both been running for about as long as me. Yeah. I think Green kind of started shortly after me. I could be wrong, but I remember seeing him. We were both running 120 at the time. Um, can't remember if I've seen anyone else. Tass, I think that's his name. That's another one I used to watch. He used to do trifecta runs. Um, Probably about it. Yeah, those are the main people.
Now, this would be kind of a weird flex, but do you happen to know what's the the amount of world records you've held in SRT, the most amount.
Oh, I've got to think about that. Um, 1, 2, 3, probably about like 8 or 9, maybe,
Oh my God.
possibly. I don't hold as many anymore. We've actually had like a lot of like big like competitive kind of push, which
Very recently, right?
yeah, very recently we've had Zik take the 40 orb or any percent NLS world record. We've had Insert Logic who's taken the free any percent. Toasted Cat is taking the any percent MBS, which is really cool as well to see Cat come back because Cat was a runner who used to run the game way before me when I first started, and I think he had world record when I came back at least in February on 120%. Um,
Oh, did he take a long break?
I think so. I think he might have went to OG, or yeah, I said maybe he did take like a long
Oh,
break, but he's come back like the last like 6 months or so, and he's definitely pushed the times and also rerouted a lot of stuff too, which is really cool to see. It keeps the game kind of fresh, but yeah, seeing a lot of like competitiveness in the higher parts, I suppose, of the leaderboards, which is really cool to see because it definitely makes me want to push my times more. Gives me more of an incentive.
I can only imagine, sadly. Now,
Uh,
what has been your favorite category to run and why?
Easily 120. Um, Maybe I'm a little bit biased in it because I first started with 120, but I don't know. I feel like 120 has been like really fun, and I know it's not everyone's like cup of
Mm-hmm.
tea. Um, in that a lot of people think it's kind of. I mean, if you look at say Spyro 2 and I guess by extension 3, you got like your perfect hovers and all that sort of stuff, and you've got stuff like wrong warps and level storage and all that sort of stuff, and it's obviously not really present in Spyro 1, but Spyro 1 just
Screw
feels like a
level
really
storage.
nice. Yes, by the way. um, but yeah, I don't know. Spyro 1 I just felt like it's just a really nice speed game, and it's evolved a lot since I first ran it. When I first ran it, even it was kind of interesting to see because a lot of people kind of did different things. So learning the category was kind of tough because I had to kind of get like 4 different PBs up and try and learn it that way. Because there wasn't like a tutorial or anything for it at the time, so you just kind of had to figure it out. And I ended
Well,
up
I
using like
wondered about that. That is kind of crazy. I mean,
yeah, you
you're
just kind of
several
had to.
minutes ahead of anybody in the competition. Did you actually like path out and make a bunch of optimizations, or did you have
uh,
like anybody that was even close that you could be like, okay, so this is what I sort of do?
It's I just kind of like I said, looked at like the sort of top runs and tried to stitch together what I thought was quicker. I didn't really look into it to too
Mm-hmm.
much detail. If I'm being honest, I'm not really that good at that sort of thing with like routing and gem routing. I just let everyone else do it and
Mm-hmm.
just copy them. But yeah, I just kind of like I said, kind of stitched together these kind of PBs that I thought was faster and tried to optimize that. But like I said, it's evolved since then anyway, because there's been some other new stuff like just general new routing and keyboard and mouse stuff, which has been a really interesting development, I suppose, in SRT, which is mainly used in Spiral 1 and not really elsewhere, which I suppose is interesting. But I suppose there's a lot more like running pads in Spiral 1, which to go into a little bit more detail, what mouse and keyboard stuff is used. The mouse and keyboard stuff used in Spiral 1 is mainly for supercharging. Um, so it turns out that the mouse, and it doesn't have to be just, it could be charging as well, but has like a really fast turn. You can turn Spyro really quick with the mouse, like a lot faster than with the controller.
I guess that makes
Um,
sense, just like any FPS or something.
yeah, exactly. You can't turn it as fast as you can with the mouse, but there's like a limit. But it's still like basically double the speed, the turning speed with a mouse keyboard. And
Really?
yeah, it turns out that paired with a supercharge, you can do some pretty crazy movement that again we haven't really looked into or even like touched upon at all until the last like 6 months or so. Or probably less than that. Probably last like 3 or 4 months. Like it's pretty new, I guess, relatively. This movement still, and yeah, I think before I started using Master Keyboard stuff, I think my PB was like a 114 or 113.
Oh,
So
wow.
since the reroute, it's shaved off like 2 minutes. So it's definitely very significant. Um, but yeah, so
Now,
like I said,
at
like
this
120
point,
has changed quite a lot since then. So it's
when
quite
new
fun.
stuff comes out, are you kind of like, shit, I really have to incorporate this to stay ahead? Or are you excited to like learn something new?
um, it's a bit of both. Like with the mouse and keyboard stuff, like I said, it was very, very like outlandish at the time, and sort of seeing some of the movement that you could do with it is a little bit scary because it's like, what if I'm rubbish at this? What if I'm bad at it? Um, but then it just takes this learning and just getting used to, and then it does become kind of like, oh, now this is kind of fun, or it gives me a little bit more of a reason to run that category in a way, I
Hmm.
guess. Uh, and also, it's just cool to see like some extra time saves being possible. I suppose the most recent like examples of that is probably like Spyro 3, which Spyro 3 has been kind of reviewed quite hard, and it's nothing like too crazy in it. There's a lot of like different movement in it, especially in like the beginning of the game. But then there's also stuff like, oh, now we do moles now, the mole's egg, and tanks too. Which again, like when I first saw that, I was like, oh, really? Like, turns out that's fast. Like, I have to learn those two, and they're not too bad at the moment. But
It's
I don't know
crazy to
that.
see how serious you treat it, like getting a metronome out for the boss. That's something I've
So
never seen anyone have to do.
I mean, you don't have to do it. You can actually just, pull up some songs that are 124 BPM. They'll
You're just
ask
gonna
you.
start singing to yourself to.
Katy Perry's Fireworks, 124 BPM. So you can start singing that if you really wanted to. But yeah, like it's kind of like scary at first, I suppose, to like learn these new stuff that you might potentially not be that good at. But then it also is like long term. It's like it's quite fun. I don't know. Yeah, it's just something that keeps the category fresh, I guess, more than anything. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go back to Spyro 3 and it's just the same kind of stuff. It's now like, oh, it's kind of different now. So yeah, it keeps the game fresh.
Now, if you had to get rid of any of the three games from the trifecta, which would it be?
Depends really. It depends on if that's like an any percent trifecta.
Say you're doing completion, full completion. Which game is like, you know
Ooh,
what? You know what? I could go without this game.
probably 3, just because it's long. It's like
Yeah,
3 hours long,
true.
loadless. So yeah, I wouldn't mind dropping 3. I guess my like straight answer would have been like 2, just because again, like 2 never really like fully clicked with me. I felt like I kind
Hmm.
of don't mind 3 too much. At least this 80% now is a bit of a pain, but yeah, like I said, I suppose I'd easily have to choose 3. I couldn't get rid of one. These like one's like the best one
Yeah,
by far, in
definitely.
my
I
opinion.
figured as much from you.
But yeah, it's a toss time. It's a hard toss up between 2 and 3, but I'd say 3 just because of length. Also, there's some shitty eggs in there, like twin dragons.
Ugh.
Yeah, not a fan.
Now, when did you know that, you know what? I'm kind of good at this game?
Um,
Because at some point that has to register, like, I think I can hold the record in a lot of things.
that that's kind of that's a hard one. Got to think about that really. I don't know because I'm thinking back when I first got the world record in 120. Um, when I was like close to it, I think it was like a 117.47 was the record at the time by
Hmm.
Chris. Um,
Sir,
I remember
I
thinking
need a
like,
nuggie.
at least when I got it, I was like, I kind of almost didn't deserve it in a way, or I felt like,
Really?
yeah, I felt like I still wasn't like that good at the game, and it was just kind of like a fluke almost, or that I don't know, like I could have. I'm still not like that good. Like if Chris came back, for example, he would just like smash my time and be like, "Hey, yeah, fair enough," sort of thing. So it's kind of hard to kind of pinpoint a time. I'm like, I'm actually not too bad at this
Were you
game.
ever grinding for
Um,
record, or did it just naturally happen for you?
no, I was grinding for it definitely. There was like a point. I think it was about back when I had like a 121 ish. I actually kind of stopped running the game because I was like, I'm not. I kind of hit a wall, I guess, where I wasn't really progressing that much,
Hmm.
and I guess at that point I was like, yeah, I'm happy with a 121. I probably couldn't have done much better than that anyway, sort of thing. And I don't know why, but after about 3 weeks, I just stopped playing the game for like 3 weeks. But then after then, I came back to it. I don't know why, but I was like, hey, let's just do a Spyro run. Like, why not? And once I kind of de-rusted from it, I felt like I was playing a lot better. Which is why I always say to people, like, if you're kind of feeling like it's getting hard or whatever, like taking a break definitely can do like wonders.
I've
Because
heard
I felt
that
like it
with a
kind of
lot
did
of
for me.
games, which principally I want to not believe in. I like the idea that a grind will pay off, but
Yeah.
it just it just works. I think a fresh mindset.
Yeah, it's like you got kind of moderate it in a way. It's like you definitely need to put the grind in for like if you really want to get like a top time. Depends on the game really, and depends how active it is. But at least in Spyro, like if you want to get like world record in anything now, and actually I was talking about yesterday with someone how Spyro has kind of like come a long way in terms of like competitiveness, like SRT on PC specifically. Like there's no world records now, that you could just be like, oh, I'm just gonna quickly go get it,
Yeah, of course.
you know. Like they're all really good now. Even the new game plus ones, like House has like smashed all of them. Like he's a legend at level storage movement. So
Mm-hmm.
none of those, I mean, none of those would have been easy for me to pick up anyway, to be honest, because I'm not that good at level storage movement. But yeah, there's none that I'll be like look at and be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna grind for that and I'll try and get it in like a couple of weeks or whatever sort of thing. That's like, nah, definitely not now. All of them are solid times. Like those come a long ways from when I first ran the game, definitely. Where a lot of the times were kind of like, I think I actually remember saying in the Discord, like back when I started running 120, I was like kind of confused because I typed in Discord. I was like, oh, why is 120% like category world record like free? I think the world record at the time was like a 131 or 130
Which,
in
just for
120.
reference for any listeners, it is now a 111. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think at 130, like I'm trying to think, I should probably get up like the leaderboards, but I think it was by Jumpy. And I think I remember saying like, because I had a 141 as like my first run or something. I was like, oh, why is it kind of like free? And a lot of
hmm.
people are like, oh yeah, I guess it kind of is, haha. And then like I think about a week later, got like bopped down to like a 125 or
Oh my
something.
God.
Because people were like, oh yeah, sure, why not? Let's just get it. Because it was just that easy at the time in a way, where it's just like people could just be like, hey, I'm just gonna grind for it and just get it. Hey, I think it was Aether. He's got 128 now. He just kind of got it like pretty soon after. Just because I made it clear that people like it was quite easy to get. But like I say, now you can't really do that anymore. Where a lot of the times on there is like really good. Um,
So how about now,
yeah.
like if you had to give it a 0 to 100 score, how optimized do you think 120 is?
Uh. Ooh. I'd say more like a. I'd say like a 80.
No
I
kidding. I was
think.
expecting
I.
like a 95. That's
I think there's still a lot of time save to be had in it. It's not a perfect run by like
hmm.
any standard. Um, And who knows? Like we could still probably find some stuff. I remember when I had like a 115, and I was like, I think I could push from 114. I remember House saying to me, "He was like, oh yeah, if you get a 113, you'll gift you this or whatever, whatever." And I was saying to him, I remember saying to him like, I don't think 113 is possible. Like 113 would be like a perfect run, and
Look where we
114 I
are
could probably
now.
push for. But yeah, like a 115, I was kind of like happy with almost, and yeah. So since then, like I said, the categories evolved quite a bit. We found mouse and keyboard stuff. We found, different routes that turns out to be faster. So you never know. Like someone could come across 120, brand new, fresh pair of eyes, and be like, oh, "Why don't we do this? This saves 30 seconds." And you'd be like, "Oh yeah, why didn't we do that?" It doesn't really surprise me anymore seeing that sort of stuff because
What is your
it's
summer
already
best in
happened.
120 now?
It's like a 109
Oh
something.
wow. Okay.
So there's still time save to be had in it. I could still save like 2 minutes technically, but not that you're gonna play it like perfect. But I feel like a 110 is definitely possible. So I really heavily grinded, but I mean at 111 I still think it's pretty like
Oh yeah.
good.
I mean,
I think out of all my like PBs, if someone were to bot that one, I'd be like really like, oh wow, okay, compared to the other ones, I guess.
if you had to pick one challenger that you think maybe could bop you, who do you think it would be?
What 120?
Mm-hmm.
Probably Cat honestly, because he's been killing it in MBS, the 80%. Um, and his time is all right in 120, but I feel like if he really wanted to push that, he could definitely like smash it like quite fast. I think, especially like I said with him, he's been grinding 80% quite a bit recently,
Yeah.
and I could see him coming back to 120 definitely. And he's definitely like really good at the game. He was really good at the game, and he like kind of stopped.
Mm.
And I definitely looked up to him as like a really like top tier player. So it was a shame that he did stop. I've always wondered what it'd be like now if he didn't stop and he just kept going from back then to even now. See what kind of times he could be pulling off.
Now I know
But yeah.
me personally, I'm extra competitive. So what keeps me going is, oh, I want to be top 10. I want to push up and beat these people. And it's a friendly rivalry, of course, but
Yeah.
competitiveness fuels me. When you're already at
Hmm.
the top, do you feel that drive still to just improve the category? Or do you tend to want to move on to other things because you already hold the record?
guess that's like kind of the beauty of SRT is that it's a trilogy. So they've got 3 games and all got different
Mm-hmm.
categories in it. So it's it's convenient in a way because it kind of keeps it like fresh the game, and that you can just kind of hop categories and be like, right, I'm going to focus on this now. Um, I guess if I looked in the perspective of like 120 right now, I did actually want to go back to 120 until I've had my times pushed elsewhere, and that's given me more fuel to go back to them instead. Um, so it's, I feel like if people bopping me definitely is like more of a drive to push that category than if I was like already had the top time in it.
Easily.
Um, but no, sometimes I do set myself kind of like a goal, and I'm like, no, I want to get like a like a sub 30 in this or whatever. I think I do set myself those goals anyway. But there's definitely a lot more of a drive when, like I said, you have got like people competing for the the times, especially like with free any because I'm currently still grinding free any percent. And there's been like at one point we had like 3 people competing for like top one, and we were like all 3 of us took it like in like less than a week. So and that was a lot of fun. Same with 120. Like 120, I think I got bopped by Green back when I had like a 114, or I think I can't remember what. No, I had a 115 at the time. This was like my old record before it all got like changed to a master keyboard, and he bopped me there, and we ended up bopping each other like I'm pretty sure like 4 times. It was actually really impressive. I think we bopped each other by like 1 second difference, like at least twice.
I know as a
Kind of
viewer that
crazy.
stuff is always fascinating to me.
What's
It
that?
just as a viewer, I love seeing people competing for record and really pushing it. Like Crash 4 has that going on right now. And it's just
I, th-
like, oh, are they gonna do it?
I think that's also like another thing from like a viewer perspective. Like I said, it is a lot more interesting when it's a lot more competitive. Because if someone's like got the world record or it's like, oh, can I beat my time by 10 seconds or whatever, but no one kind of else pushing it. I don't know. Like I said, it just kind of makes it a little bit more interesting. There's a little bit more behind it if you do PB or whatever. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Now, pushing on to speedrun as in general, uh what the heck is Princess Remedy in a world of hurt?
That
I've
game.
never heard of this game, and I look at the at your SRC profile and like, how did he decide to run this?
Okay, so Princess Remedy was my first ever speed game. I can't remember like what I was thinking when I decided to run it, but it's a free to play game on Steam. And I think when I just played it, it's a pretty short game. It's not very long at all. But when I played it, I just kind of like really, really, really enjoyed the game. And there's like kind of different routes you could take. Where it's like you can like 101% the game,
Mm-hmm.
but to do that, you have to like not pick up any items until like mid game or something. You get like this chest that only opens if none of the other chests have been opened or something. Um, and I don't know, like I just started like I beat the game because you could beat the game like I said fairly quick, and I thought,
Mm-hmm. So you played it
I was,
casually first before
oh
even
yeah, 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 of
looking
course.
into
There
speed.
was no speed runs of it like at all. I don't even think it had a speed run page. Like it wasn't even on sr.com or whatever. So I just purely did it by myself, and I just yeah, I just really enjoyed the game. I think that was my very first like taste of speedrunning, and I think yeah, kind of like awoken that kind of like the hobby, I guess, I suppose, because like I said, I've moved on quite a few games since then. I've done. I remember what I've done now. What have I done? I've done Banjo Kazooie, Grunty's Revenge. I've
Which I have
done
even more of a question about why. And why not regular BK or hell even Tui?
Banjo Kazooie. Uh, I kind of like lurked the community for like a good 2 years. There are a lot of people I watched Banjo. I was really into like Banjo Kazooie. And I wouldn't say I got to know, but I like would hang out with a lot of like the BK crowd. Not extensively, only like like a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's like smaller runners, I suppose. I did watch Hag, and I watched Dickus Khan, or he was called Duck now, I think. Or it might just be Dick. No, I think it's Duck. Um, but yeah, I'd like hang out in that sort of community, and Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie. Well, Banjo Kazooie was like a big like game that I used to play when I was a kid. Like I loved that game. It's definitely like my like top 3 favorite ever games. Um, Banjo 2 I never played, so I never was too much into that. And Granny's Revenge I did play, but I wasn't like massively into it when I was a kid. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess the reason why I ran Granny's Revenge in the end, well, one because like I said, I still had that kind of like drive. I was like, oh, I actually really want to speedrun the game, and I wasn't running anything. And mainly because of accessibility. Really,
Okay.
um, it's really easy to just play legally Banjo-Kazooie, Granny's Revenge, on your like computer,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of like capture it that way. Whereas like if I wanted to play BK, it's like it's a little bit more awkward to play on your computer, and
Yeah,
I
N64
I
emulation is
I do.
rough.
Yeah, I do have the game and an N64 somewhere, but I don't have like a CRT and I don't have a capture card and I don't. And also, it's like I think the PAL version of the game, so you don't really want to run it on PAL.
Yeah,
Um, and it wasn't like a 1.1. It'd probably be a 1.1 cartridge or something. So I don't know. It would have been kind of rough to run it, but
that's sadly what I have too, and I want to get a
oh,
1.0
oh
NTSC cartridge, but people know they're valuable, so not the cheapest
yeah,
thing.
I can imagine. But yeah, so Granny's Revenge is just like kind of really easy to get into, and the top two people on that category, actually, the 100% category, is like insane at the game. So I'm quite happy that I got third in it, though. It's definitely
It's
easy
crazy
to
that it's held
beat.
up a couple years later.
Yeah. Well, it's actually really interesting because the reason why I stopped running that game, right at the end of the game, there's like a quiz, I guess similar to Banjo Kazooie, right? Where you
Mm-hmm.
got Furnace Fun, and in it, it's completely random whether or not you get mini games. You don't want mini games because obviously it takes longer.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get a 50-second mini game. There's two 50-second mini games you can get in that game. I got both of them in a run. That was like 2 minutes ahead. Um, and then I failed the second 50-second one at the last millisecond.
Oh,
Like
geez.
literally just lost it. And then it gave me another 50-second because it like repeated it, I guess. And at that point, I rage quit the game. I was like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of being 2 minutes ahead and then losing it to RNG. I was like, yeah, I think I'm done with this game. Uh, but yeah, it was other than that, it's actually a really fun like game. I definitely say it's underrated as a speed game because a lot of like stuff's been found in it by like I said, like the top guy in it. That makes the game like really interesting. So it's definitely been loved. I'll put it that way.
Now I'm noticing a little bit of a crossover. Well, Jumpy. It seems like this guy's on every leaderboard I look at. Do you know
Yeah.
him at all? Because he's done grunties, he's done SRT.
I don't really like know him. I've been in his like chats on Twitch and I've spoke to him a little bit in DMs, not a whole lot, but yeah, it's he's a bit like, like I say, he's pretty interesting. I called him iconic to him as like a joke, but it kind of is in a way because he is literally everywhere. He's done like everything. It's insane. I don't know how he does it, but yeah,
I'm kind of jealous. Yeah, he really is. Oh my god, on everything.
like I thought the exact same thing when I was like having an interest in a speedrunning game. It's like, yeah, there's Jumpy left. There he is on the leaderboard. Classic Jumpy.
Do you think you'd
Yeah.
rather, I mean, it seems like you have, but become really good at one thing or kind of a jack of all trades, good at many things or decent at many things?
Um. Well, I'd like to maybe potentially do like another speed game.
Mm-hmm.
Things with Speed Spyro is
Is
like
there anything that interests you right now?
not specifically. Uh, I've ran Hat in Time before, although I've never posted a time up of it, and that was actually a really cool speed game. I wouldn't actually mind potentially running that game again because it's actually kind of built almost for speed running. Oh, not built for it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's got like an in-game timer already built into it and all that sort of stuff, and you can kind of link it with live split and stuff. So the devs of that game are actually really cool like that. Um, So I don't know. We could potentially go back to that, but yeah, there's nothing specifically on Horizon that I'm looking at. But yeah, I'd like to say like I could do different stuff. I mean, look at like Jumpy for example. I don't think I'd ever become someone like Jumpy, but
Yeah.
he's done like over 100 games from like any kind of background. He's done like Flash games and that sort of stuff. Um, yeah, but it'd be cool to perhaps like branch out a bit more and see some other stuff. But yeah, with Spyro, like I wouldn't say I'm like a jack of all trades with Spyro, just because a lot of it is kind of just applying that same movement just to different kind of levels, I guess almost. Except with
Right.
2 and 3, obviously you got mini games and that sort of stuff. Yeah, hovering, which isn't in Spyro 1, but yeah. But yeah, I'd like to perhaps like branch out a little bit more, maybe in the future. See if anything kind of interests me.
Hat in Time actually inspired this for me because it's kind of my answer. But do you have a favorite underrated game? Because I feel like that game is so good, but it's a lot of speedrunners tend to know of it, but not a. It's not generally known by the public. It's not a Call of Duty by any means, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. I wouldn't say Hat in Time's like underrated. Like either as a speed game or as like a normal game. I think it's been as loved as kind of should be because the things with like platformers and like collectathons and stuff, like they never really
Hmm.
are like huge. But I've always been like a massive fan of like collectathon games, so they've been like I said, I used to play as like a kid. So um, I suppose my my favorite ever game, my top one favorite game is actually Jet Force Gemini on N64, which is
Really?
another rare
What?
game.
You're
That is my number one favorite game, and
you're
I'd love to see
surprising
that.
everybody by not saying Spyro right now.
Uh, yeah, no, I won't put Spyro in my favorite games. Well, I put it in my favorite games, but I wouldn't say it's my number one favorite game. Yeah, that game is definitely underrated. As both a casual and a speed game, in my opinion, I'd like to maybe even look into that as a speed game. But again, it comes down to like accessibility then, where it's like I would then need to get all this sort of stuff
Yeah.
for it. Um, but yeah, that's a
Ooh,
really cool game.
if you had to ballpark it, how many hours on SRT on Steam do you think you have?
I could have a look, but I think it's about. It's not like massive. It's about 700 and something, 700
That's it.
hours. Um, I could have a look literally right now. 789 hours.
Nice.
Uh,
About to hit that 8.
which isn't actually the most.
I believe it.
Apparently, like
Yeah, there's some serious grinders.
I know someone who has like about 13 and 1400 hours.
Good God.
Probably imagine who that is.
I mean, I see
Doctor
the same
House.
thing in the NST community. I wouldn't be surprised if like
Oh
Buchu
yeah, I
was pushing
know.
up on 800 hours or so.
I know. I think Cameron's had like over 2000.
Holy shit, 2000?
Yeah,
You know
which
what?
is
He's amazing. Well,
yeah.
anyway, transitioning on from that. Do you have any other hobbies?
No, it's that. I mean, outside of like just games and in general,
Yeah.
not necessarily just speedrunning. Uh,
What can you be found doing in your offline time? Like what games are you playing right now?
right now, I'm playing. What am I playing? I've been playing actually like 'cause I own a Switch as well, so I've actually been recently playing um the new Mario like 3D worlds or whatever.
Oh
Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
just on the side. I've been playing that. I've not played the DLC yet, which is actually like the brand new actual thing, but I've been like waiting trying to beat the game first.
I never had a Wii
Um
U, so I've heard nothing but great things, so I think I'm gonna have to pick it up.
it's I mean I'm like I said, I'm just playing the 3D world at the moment. I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not actually got to the actual brand new thing yet, because in my mind I'm like, no, I want 100% the first game, the actual game first, because I'm just like that, I guess, before I touch the DLC. So I am looking forward to actually playing that. Although I do play a bit of RuneScape on the side, you know. Um,
Old school or new school?
I'm playing the new school. Uh, I know.
You said
But
you also work. How do you have time for all this?
uh, unfortunately, with like my work, being a baker, I get up like really early, which is actually one part of my job I
Oh,
don't like. So, but the good thing about that is I get home like pretty early too. So I get home like midday, like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock sort of thing. So I do have a good amount of time to play games. The only problem is I'm like tired as hell. But yeah, you kind of get used to it, I suppose.
definitely.
Early waking up life. But it's interesting because when I have a day off, I get up at like 11. Like I'm not like an early bird, I guess,
It's
despite my
kind of
job.
hard sometimes. Like I know when I was working a normal person schedule, like
Normal
that
person
internal
schedule.
clock is rough. Like I'd wake up
Mm,
at 8 on the weekend. I'm like, this sucks. Terrible. Want to make
yeah,
up for all that lost sleep.
whenever I have like a week off, I just like stay up till like 5 in the morning.
Perfect. Revert to degen.
Instant DJ like that. And then as soon as I'm back at work, oh boy, I feel that. Quickly
That's
get
something I
back into
want
the
to
cycle
do
again.
because the whole podcast genre is a little oversaturated. People do it. I want to include a little bit of fun stuff.
Oh,
So let me know if it's okay with you. But I'm thinking a little rapid fire. Like I offer two things. You pick which one you like better.
okay.
A little bit of this or that. So
Interesting.
like
Could do.
start off easy. You like cats or dogs?
Easy dogs. I'm allergic to cats, actually.
Oh, same actually. Like deathly. My
Ah, let's
lungs close
go.
up. So screw
Oh,
cats.
really? Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, mine's not that bad.
So
I just get
pizza or tacos?
pizza. Never had tacos.
You've never had tacos? What?
Nope. Don't really exist in England, I guess.
Oh, that's crazy. We gotta send you some Mexicans. All right. Crash or Spyro?
Oh, Spyro, of course.
Naturally.
Naturally.
The GameCube or the N64?
Oh, N64.
I
Just.
figured as much.
Yeah.
Xbox or PlayStation?
Oh, PlayStation.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Now, would you rather go to a pub or go to a movie?
Movie. Easy. Depends on the film, really, but I'm not a big pub person, actually.
That's kind of what I was getting at. When you say you're from the country and not a fan of big
Yeah.
city,
I
I
mean,
figured as much.
there's a lot of pubs around here, but I suppose I'm just not into that lifestyle.
If you're chilling at home, are you more likely to put on Twitch or YouTube?
YouTube, probably. I'm actually not a big like Twitcher, really. I don't watch too
Really?
many people on Twitch. No. Sometimes I do if I'm like, I've had like a week where I'm just like, oh, I just want to watch this person or whatever. I just want to watch this like game. Um, but yeah, more than likely I put on like a YouTube and just chuck it on in the background. It's easier YouTube, I feel, because you could just kind of pause it or do whatever.
Do you watch any non-speedrun streamers?
Uh, uh, do I? Like I said, I don't really watch like too many streamers anyway. I'm just looking at my thing now. Do I? No, I don't think I do. I think I only watch speedrunning stuff.
Now, who are a couple of your favorite speedrunners to watch?
Oh, Gaffy, of course.
Oh yeah,
Gaffy Taffy
you
TV.
flattered me
Yeah.
too much.
Um, I like to hang out in Randy's quite a lot. Randy Bobandy.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Randy Bobandy, I should say. This
Sir,
is a new name, of course. You
don't
can't forget the
disrespect.
Sir. And then yeah, I hang out in Greens and Dr. House as well because they're my boys. Um, and yeah, Gage, I guess I like to watch a lot as well. I stick him on sometimes, but yeah,
It
Gage is
is
a
kind
lad.
of interesting just how I kind of discovered you because I wasn't even a big SRT fan or anything, but I just
Mm.
happened to see your name, which is very iconic, everywhere. And I'm like, oh, Nason. Oh, Gage. Oh, this Bobby Bill guy. He's a real homie.
I actually found you from Nathan, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's still my boy.
because I think I got into like Spyro, watching at least watching Crash 2. So I watched quite a bit of Crash 2 from him, and then from him, I think he raided you, and you were doing Crash 2, and I was like, hey, kind of cool guy as well. So
That was I was still just a wee baby
yeah,
because
you
I
were
only
still
just
new to it. I
started in
remember.
like March or April last year.
Yeah,
And
it's would have been a year nearly.
so he came to my chat because we still had a Twitch directory. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, the Crash directory.
But I was like, oh wow, this guy, he's pretty good. He has like a 47. That's
Yeah, this was
awesome.
sick.
Mm-hmm. And
And
no
then
big deal, but I bopped that.
yeah, easy, easy. But that's really
Ooh.
cool to have. It's like that kind of goal. You have like a target then. Cool to see that you bopped it, definitely. Because like Zaf, I don't know. He doesn't really run Crash 2 as often now, does he? I think
No, he cares about his sanity, which is smart.
it's fair enough. Yeah, I think Tell Woods could do that. Tell Beach Woods could.
Oh God.
But yeah, it's cool to see that you've progressed that far at least because your time's definitely getting really sick too.
Yeah, I'm hitting a wall right now, which I think kind of like
Mm.
what we were talking about earlier. It's time for me to kind of take a break, come back later with a healthier mindset.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with Crash 2. I can, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
the sanity drain must be hard. Yeah.
But back to it. Now, how about if you're watching TV stuff? So you more of a Netflix or a Disney Pluser?
If I had to choose Netflix, I guess. I actually don't really watch anything Disney like at all. I'm
No
not.
Mandalorian, no WandaVision.
I've never watched Star Wars. Not gonna lie,
No
and I'm not hugely into superhero stuff. Really, I've
unpopular
watched
opinion.
I watched The Boys. That was really good, like
Oh
superhero kind
yeah,
of thing.
that's on a whole
Um,
nother level.
Umbrella Academy as well was really good. It's about as much like superhero stuff I've kind of watched, but yeah, they were really good. But they're Amazon, I think.
Yeah, which weirdly enough, those were two of like my top shows the last couple of years. They're just so out there and different.
Yeah, it's different, like I said. So
All right, and last one. Uh,
Oh.
so you have a sweet tooth. Are you going for chocolate or like sweet candies?
Uh, I'd say chocolate out of those two, just because I'm more into sour stuff and sweet
Okay, okay.
specifically. Um, so yeah, get your facts right.
Yeah,
Not
my
sweet
bad, my
candy.
bad. I guess hard
If
candies would have been a better option.
maybe. But yeah, I'm really into sour stuff. If I do eat sweet, I don't really eat too much of that sort of stuff anymore. I used to when I was like really young, but
I mean, you're
pretty
better off
bad for
not.
you. Yeah, grown adult. By the way, try not to eat that sort of stuff. But,
All
but
right,
yeah.
so what made you decide to start streaming?
Um, honestly, the very like the main reason why I started streaming was because I didn't want to record, simply because it would take up too much space.
Mm-hmm.
That was literally my reason why.
I
And it's actually
actually
kind
same
of
thing.
it's actually kind of interesting when I started streaming because I was like super nervous and I didn't really like feel confident about it. So every time I saw like my viewers tick up to like one, I'd like get really nervous because I'm like, oh, someone's watching me. I'm like, oh my god, someone's actually watching this run. And like, I gotta try and talk to them, sort of thing. So it was never really like when I first started streaming. I said like about streaming. It was just I could just it was more out of convenience. I could have easily started without a mic as well, but I decided to start using a mic straight away because I don't know. I felt like if someone did
It's
want to
almost
watch,
more
I at least
natural,
want to
yeah.
talk to them. Yeah, but yeah, that was my main reason.
Do
Still streaming
you
now though.
do you care at all about
Sometimes.
like your growth as a streamer, or are you more just focused on the speedrun aspect?
Uh, I think it's always been like more about the game, and perhaps my
Mm-hmm.
like. I try and not pay too much attention to that sort of side of stuff, but then it's really easy to pay attention to that sort of side of stuff, like the stream side of stuff. Um, I really like the idea of having like like emotes, for example, that people could use, and using other people's channels, and I
Which
could
your
use.
emotes are fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. Shout outs to Gage,
Shout outs to Gage.
of course. Um, but yeah, so I and I guess with like because I guess like I don't have a community exactly. It's just a Spyro community.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess from that side of it, it's really nice being like a part of that kind of community as well. So I mean, the SRT's had like a lot of growth since I first started running it. So it's really cool to sort of see that. But yeah, I guess that's mainly more about the game. But if like the stream does take off or get like big, then that's a plus as well. I guess
No
I don't really
pressure.
get
Are
like
we gonna get a camera? Get the face reveal?
uh,
Know the Bobby behind the bill?
I'd like to say yes, actually. I may eventually. I think I might. Um, it's hard to say. I think I've become like a lot more like because the main reason why I didn't at first is like again out of like confidence,
Yeah.
and I feel like I've got like a lot more confident. Like I said like where I get nervous when I see one person, I don't really look at it too much anymore. I don't really think about it. Like if I got like raided like well, maybe if it was 1,000 people, but if I got raided by like 100 people, I wouldn't like play badly because of it or something.
Right.
But I think that just comes naturally with streaming anyway, and using your voice. I know there's some people I know that stream without their microphone, and I'm always like, just do it, sort of thing, because you do just get used to it, um, you know. But you can say the same stuff about like using a camera too. Like I still probably wouldn't be too comfortable using a camera right now, but if I did start using it, I'll probably get over it and be like, yeah, well, whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
I think that's pretty natural, just putting yourself out there a little more.
Yeah.
'Cause, especially during a run, you're worried like, am I making a dumb face? And really, you just got to be focusing on your game.
I didn't think about that before, but now,
Oh well,
oh.
yeah. Sorry, I put that in your head. Because oh, I know I do. So, what's been, I guess, your favorite thing about streaming?
Um, I suppose it's getting to know like people and seeing other people kind of hang out and then become more part of the community as well, and just getting to know other people in the community as well. Like I remember, like I've talked to Randy quite a lot now, and it took a long time before I even spoke to Randy for the
Mm-hmm.
first time, and I can't remember how long he's been running the game, but I think he's been running the game like quite a long time too. And I never really like, but that's mainly because he did Spyro 2 and stuff, and I didn't have any interest in Spyro 2 at the time. So, yeah, I kind of know like most people in the community now. I'd say, um, Nost as well, another one that like at the time I was like, well, he's like this big streamer, and I talk to him every now and then. It's kind of weird. But I feel like it's a development that's only happened in like the last like 6 months or so. Like before then, I never
Really?
spoke to him. Or probably less than that, even probably the last like 4 or 5 months. I never really spoke to Nos before then. Not like in like a chat at least.
Right.
Just like in his chat on Twitch. That'd be like it. I'd be like, oh, good luck on the run or whatever. And that'd be it.
Do
So
people in real life know that you stream? Like family, friends, coworkers?
nope, not at all. In fact, I do have another account.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that I have a couple people I know in real life follow to it, and that's one of the reasons why I stream on this account.
What?
Because I I did used to stream like when I used to stream Banjo Kazooie. I
Mm-hmm.
used to stream on that account, and I just thought it was really weird when I'd like this like couple friends that would like show up, and I'd be like, yeah, what up, hello. Just I know it's kind of awkward. So this account I already had made it back when I made my other account. So I thought, let's just use this one then and start again, I guess.
That's
But
kind of crazy.
yeah, no, I don't tell anyone I speedrun. I don't know. It feels like a really weird thing to talk about for me
No,
personally.
yeah,
I don't
I
know.
agree. I never told any of my people that I worked with in Japan. I'm staying with family now, and none of them know. I try and
Yeah.
keep it very. This is my hobby. I keep it separate from real things because then people want to watch or something. It's just awkward.
And I know
This.
people that do like talk to their like family about it, and their family know, and they
Mm-hmm.
say, "Oh no, it's just cool." Like they're cool with it and stuff. But it's like, I don't know. It's not for me. I'd rather keep it hidden.
Now on the opposite end, so what's your least favorite thing about just streaming in general? If you have any
uh,
minor gripes.
least favorite thing. Oh, that's interesting. Um, the fucking bots that come into your chat and they're like,
Want to be
"Hey,
famous?
want to be famous?" Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows. I had to get moderators because of them.
Have you
But
noticed
yeah.
any division since Twitch removed the actual SRT
Oh, actually,
category?
that's probably my least favorite thing. Yeah, that it was bound to happen, I guess, since Crash.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I still think it's a lame choice to be made, and it's awkward now because everyone's so spread out. Anyone that perhaps would have tried to find you through the
Yeah.
directory is now diminished. There was like I can't remember how many. There was like 50,000 followers on that directory before,
Jeez.
and all gone. And yeah, now it's all spread out. I don't even see like even casual players don't even use it correctly. Where they'd be playing like Spyro 2 and it'd be in Year of the Dragon or something. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was just such a strange choice. I think it was done automatically, as far as I know, because I think Twitch might use a
Yeah.
separate third
At
party
least
thing
from
for their
what I read,
directories.
I think yeah, they changed what third party they used and
Mm,
it was supposed to remove clutter, but then like for SRT, it
It's
added
made it more
three
cluttered.
more categories.
Yeah, I
So,
see people do it in
mm,
the OG as well. The OG categories, they use them for SRT. Again, not even just speedrunners, like casual players too. And it's like they've just made it worse. I don't know. It's a really bad choice. But hey, at least we still have them, unlike Crash. Crash has nothing now. Just the
yeah, no
OG.
kidding. I think that well, combination of multiple things, but I think it definitely hurt a lot of people's growth.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can imagine. I think with Crash, didn't they bundle it with the
Oh,
team
nitro
racing?
fueled, but yeah, nobody uses it.
Yeah,
It
it was
doesn't
like
have a
Crash
picture or
and
anything. It's just like, all right,
yes, it's the same with the Spyro. They
pass.
still don't have pictures.
What a weird
I don't think
idea.
they will. Yeah, very strange decision to be made. But hey, here's what it is. Just have to deal with it.
So, one more just idea. Would you
Mm-hmm.
want to play Connect 4 real quick?
Oh, Connect Four. I'll tell
For
you, I'm a Connect Four champion.
100 bragging rights.
I'm all about the
You
bragging
say
rights.
a champion?
Hey, I was pretty good at it when I last played it at the age of 8, I'd say.
Oh, shit. All right, I'm getting a link for you.
Oh baby, it's on. I want them bragging points. 100 of them, you say?
100 bragging points. Yep.
Oh, okay. Let's play.
Oh, Bobby.
I put a name on it. Put a number on it, rather. Fine.
Oh,
Oh, it's
let's
about to
get it.
fail. Okay. Oh, it's me first. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do something really strange. I'm gonna go on the left. Didn't
Oh,
expect that.
okay. Okay. I'll take my middle.
Middle plebs. Hmm. Nope. What was this tense?
It's going down.
What he's thinking about.
Yeah. I haven't played this in so long. Uh-oh, I don't like how this is forming up already.
Easy.
Oh, no way, really?
Easiest win of my life.
Oh, okay. Best of 3. That's a warm-up. I'm level 2, so, you know, kind of a big deal.
That's true. Same. I just got 5,000 coins. I'm popping off.
Oh, there we go. That's full screen.
Be running this. Taffy percent.
Oh my god, no. Oh, I don't like this. Bobby, please.
I'm telling you, I'm a champion.
No.
Uh,
You done me. Yep. All right. All right. All right. Best of 5.
oh my god, it's gonna keep going. I want my 100 bragging rights now.
Oh, I got a smiley
Oh, I got an
face.
emoji.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
go.
Bleh.
Oh.
Fuck.
Okay.
Oh wait, I'm
All right.
dumb. All right. Well, you clearly win this round.
Thank you for the 100 bragging rights. I'll take them.
Fuck. He's
Easiest
too
bragging rights
good.
of my life.
He's too good.
200 IQ. That was good. That was good. I enjoyed that. That's how
Well,
you play it. That's how you play Connect 4. Get rolled.
I think that's about all I have for you then. Where can people find you?
On Twitch, of course. Slash BobbyBill. I think that's about it. I don't have any like social media stuff.
That is one thing I've noticed. You can't get much information about you,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
probably a good thing.
Yeah, I've never been into like the social media sort of side of stuff, I guess, but maybe I could make one specifically for my account. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that's about the only place you can get hold of me. I do have a YouTube channel, but I don't do anything on it, so it's kind of pointless. But
Well, thank you again
yeah.
so much. You're my
All right,
first
thank you.
guest.
Thank you for having me. Number one guest too. Jeez. No pressure.
All right. Anyway, that wraps up the first episode. I definitely had a lot of fun making it. If you made it this far, put Bobby is cute in the comments or something. But also, please, you can hit up my Discord or put something in the comment. Who do you want on the show? What kind of questions you want? I'm super open to feedback, and I can't wait to improve this and do the next episode. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and subscribe if you want some more or you just want to help me out. It's all appreciated.